With that being said, let's go into our second story of the day with Philip Wegmann catching Karine Jean-Pierre just straight in a lie, folks. This is one that you really, I know I always say you don't want to miss it, but God, he does a fabulous job here of asking her questions regarding these coal plants. Watch how she spins it and then gets caught in a lie. As always, folks, support us by hitting that like and subscribe button. Let's go ahead and roll it.
Thank you. You said that the president is fighting for coal communities, but just to follow up, that doesn't mean that he's fighting to keep these coal mines open, does it?
Look, the president, I laid out very clearly about how the president sees his part in this and what he has done. He has through the work of Working Group on Coal and Power Plant Communities, President Biden has already delivered more than $23 billion to energy communities across the country. He has put forward plans that are bringing new energy and manufacturing jobs to states like West Virginia, to states like Pennsylvania. And he has secured critical investment through the Inflation Reduction Act to support coal communities as well. Which he believes is incredibly important, which is why it was included in the Inflation Reduction Act. And that's from funding for coal miners suffering from respiratory challenges to billions of dollars in loans to help them seize new energy opportunities. So again, I mentioned this, I just laid this out. While we're trying to help coal communities, while we're trying to do everything that we can.
Anybody see the answer? I'm looking for it. I can't find it. Did any of you hear it? I don't hear it. I don't see it. I mean, where's the answer here? The question was about keeping coals open, and you've been very clear that you want to shut them down. She goes, well, we're giving them this, and well, if they have smoke inhalation and coal inhalation, we're going to help them with that. I mean, where's you keeping these things up and running and giving these men and women work here? Where's that answer? We all know what's going on because he wants to shut them down, and he is going to shut them down because he wants to get rid of the fossil fuel industry as a whole, including coal, folks, including coal. She's lying right here, flipping through her stupid notebook that never answers anybody's questions. Just do away with the notebook, Karine. I'd rather you just be like, I'm not going to answer your question today. Next one. Save us all the freaking time, not an hour press briefing. You flipping through that damn notebook that doesn't answer anybody's damn question. So frustrating.
To make sure that they have the funding that they need. Republicans, that very same policy, same monies that I just laid out, Inflation Reduction Act, which is where it's coming from, Republicans want to repeal that, taking away the efforts that we're trying to provide for coal communities.
So that sounds like you're helping them as the market through economic transition is moving away from coal. That doesn't sound like you're taking any deregulatory efforts or any steps to help the mines themselves stay open.
Yes. Perfect follow-up, Phil. Thank you, brother. God, he's on top of it. I don't know what's going on with the press, folks, but they're killing it. They're killing it under the Biden administration with these follow-ups. Let's continue.
Correct.
Look, I've been very clear. The president's been very clear on this. Don't have anything more to add. Again, we believe what he was trying to say was twisted, and we've laid that down very clearly. You heard from my statement. You heard from what I just said.
How was it twisted? This is where she's lying. She's caught in the lie. It wasn't twisted. You literally said you want to shut them down. This is the same bull crap where he's like, well, I'm doing everything I can for the fossil fuel industry. I'm doing everything I can to lower gas prices. And then we get him on tape going, yeah, I'm not going to do no new drilling. No drilling whatsoever. No. I'm not going to do it at all. Stop lying. God, it freaking frustrates me. It frustrates me.
It said here today.
Twist those words. He said we're shutting those plants down.
Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. I said it. The press are doing a great job. Look, I know we hounded them under the Trump administration, but God, they're killing it, folks. They're doing great stuff here by calling out the Biden administration for their lies. Look, the press want answers, and they're not getting it. God, they have to be so frustrated. But there was no spinning. You heard it from the horse's mouth day in and day out. The guy wants to shut the coal plants down. There's no spinning here. They're just lying about it. A freaking day before the elections.
Phil,
different question. Marco Rubio, the ranking member of the Senate Intelligence Committee, criticized the administration by saying, quote, by giving TikTok influencers the platform of White House visits and creating content, Biden is signaling to the world he believes it is safe to use an app that is beholden to Beijing. This comes after TikTok admitted that some European data was accessed in China. Is the president signaling to the American public that TikTok is safe?
Wait, can you say that one more time? Because that was a lot.
There's a lot, sorry. So the gist of it.
It wasn't a lot, Phil. Okay, we're all on board here with what's going on with TikTok and is it safe to use and what's going on with the Chinese Communist Party kind of tracking Americans. No, we're all on board with you, brother. Here, you've asked a similar question about TikTok about 3 times now, and I'm curious, honest to God, if you've even gotten an answer because this is the 3rd or 4th time. But the reason why she's stopping you and wants you to repeat it because she's looking through her binder for an answer that says anything about TikTok. That's what it is.
Is that Rubio argues that by hosting some of these TikTok influencers here at the White House, that the president is essentially, quote, signaling to the world he believes it is safe to use an app that is beholden to Beijing. My question is, does the president see it that way? Is he signaling anything about this application?
So just to be very mindful here, not going to comment on TikTok while the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States, as you all know, review is ongoing to address concerns posed by the app. So generally speaking, the Biden administration is focused on the challenge of certain countries, right, which is including China, as you just mentioned to me, seeking for leverage digital technologies and Americans' data in ways that's presently unacceptable and is not safe for our national security.
Did I not call it that she's just looking for something in her binder that says the word TikTok in it? Did I not freaking call it? Is that her job, is just to sit there and just have her staff write up a bunch of stuff about like just random things about TikTok, about China, about Russia, gas prices, diesel, whatever it may be? She'd be like, yeah, as long as we got something that refers to it, I'll be able to read it off regardless of whether it answers her questions or not. This administration sucks.
At risk, puts our national security at risk. So, look, we are taking the steps that we can to address this challenge. For example, the president issued the first ever presidential directive defining additional national security factors for this very said committee to consider in line with the administration's national security priorities, like protecting America's sensitive data. And last year, the President Biden put forward an executive order to protect Americans' sensitive data from collection and utilization. So we will continue to look for other actions to deal with this. And again, I don't want to get too far into it, but I can lay out what the president has done.
There's a risk, and that review is ongoing. Why continue to invite these folks to the White House to create TikTok? I never thought that I'd be asking a question about TikTok, but there are a lot
I feel like you've asked me questions before about TikTok.
There are a lot of parents who are looking, at this seemingly benign app, and then they're seeing reports that because of the parent company ByteDance, which is Chinese owned, that there's a risk, and then they see that the president of the United States is appearing on some of their channels.
I hear your question. As you know, the president uses different mediums to communicate directly with the American people, including young people. We think it's important to communicate directly with them, but we understand, right? We understand the issues that TikTok presents itself with, and so again, we use different mediums. I just laid out what we're trying to do in our efforts to deal with the issue that you just laid out. Don't want to get too much into it because it's in front of the committee, but we take this very seriously, hence the executive order that the president did, and we will continue to do that.
Thank you, Karine.
Okay.
If you take it seriously and you know that they're tracking Americans and they're tracking officials, why would you invite influencers to the White House to be with the president, and you know this information is being sent to China, the CCP, but you understand it and you understand the security risk with it, but yet you're going to continue to invite people over into the White House with this technology? How does this make any sense that you're going to say that you understand Phil Wegmann's question and you understand the risk that's involved, and then you're going to lay forth all these things that you've done and you understand that they're tracking and all these things, but yet you're still going to allow the president to utilize TikTok and have influencers and other people invited to the White House to carry forward with that risk? Hey, you know what? Continue this messaging, please. It's content. It just shows Americans you guys don't have a clue what's going on in the White House. It just shows that if you as a mouthpiece for the leader of the free world can't answer basic questions, neither can Joe Biden, which is why he's going to get shellacked in 2024, which is why you guys are going to get shellacked today during the midterms, because you don't have a clue. You don't have a plan, which was also covered in this press briefing. We didn't cover that clip. They don't have a plan, you guys. They're just laying forward what they did in the past. The question was, proposed to her, well, wouldn't it be important to kind of lay out what you're going to do with the new Congress? No, we don't see it that way. I understand what your question is, but we just don't see it that way. They don't have a plan because they don't have a clue what's going on anything. They haven't fixed anything these last 20 months. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.